Frequency work addresses things at the frequency level, which is where everything originates. So I'm going to back up even further. Okay, so for some of you, this will be review, but I always feel like if you understand the basics and at some point it becomes like an aha moment, and you're like, oh, that's why things are the way they are. So in any case, everything is vibrating. Okay, now the rate of vibration dictates what form that thing is in, right? So if you think about water vibrating, when the molecules vibrate very high, it's steam. When the molecules slow down in vibrational rate, it becomes liquid. And when it slows down even more, it becomes solid like ice. So everything is about vibrational level, everything, because everything is vibrating. And so just like water changes from steam, which is like a gas, all the way down to the density of solidity, it goes much further than that because it's way beyond the physical. So everything vibrates in the physical level all the way up through consciousness, which vibrates at a very high level. And then if you have pure source or the oneness or the divine, that vibrates at an even higher level. Now, when I speak about pure source, it's really that very, 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 very high level of consciousness from which everything derives and to which everything returns. Okay, so in order to have anything that's in form, you actually need a lower level frequency of resonance than oneness, right? Because it's out there vibrating at a very, very high rate. It's not embodied. So in order to have anything but the oneness, there needs to be a drop in vibrational level, which cause, well, frequencies to exist. And then as that vibrational rate slows down even more, it becomes energy. And as that slows down even more, it becomes physical form or density or emotions, thoughts. Okay. So all it is something that is going from very high in resonance, slowing down into things that we consider to be form. Now, everything is dictated by frequency. So if you're running around on the physical level trying to change things, it's really difficult to, because that's just the level that they show up at. But that's not the origination of the actual problem or the challenge. The challenge is a reflection of what's happening at frequency level, which is much higher in resonance. And that's created by what I call distortion pattern. So distortion is simply something that keeps us separate from the oneness or pure source or the divine or whatever you want to call it. And if we back up again, and for me, when I perceive things, we are these spheres of pure source energy that emerge from the oneness or pure source. And then we choose to have an embodied experience. So we drop into physical form. So we drop in our physical resonance and come into a physical form. As soon as that happens, there are things, what to me look like layers and layers of duct tape that form around that sphere of pure source energy. Now that pure source sphere, okay, is you. And the thing that makes it you is a very specific, unique rate of vibration. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that sphere. It's beautiful. Okay, it is actually aware that it is part of everything. But what happens is that you have layers and layers and layers and layers of this duct tape that form around the sphere. So it loses sight of the fact that pure source is everywhere in all directions around it. It loses sight of itself and it gets very, very heavy. And so its resonance level starts to drop a little bit because it's got all this crud around it. Okay. Those layers of duct tape are metaphors for what I call distortion patterns. Okay, it's like all these layers of filters, these denser patterns that filter or give us a certain perception of reality, and it calls a certain reality to us. And that's why we have this heaviness, this density. So when I'm working on frequency level, frequency work, which is again the second component of what I do, which is the most important, is we are at the point in time where consciousness is high enough and someone like me has cleared enough of their distortions to be able to release those layers of duct tape. That's the game changer. That is where change really starts to happen because you're changing things at the source of the problem, which is at frequency level.